This one is called Jack and His Comrades. Thankfully, it's a pronounceable name, Jack. All right. Once there was a poor widow, as often there has been, and she had one son. A very scarce summer came, and they didn't know how they'd live till the new potatoes would be fit for eating. So Jack said to his mother one evening, "Mother, bake my cake and kill my hen till I go seek my fortune, and if I meet it, never fear, but I'll soon be back to share it with you." So she did as he asked her, and he set out at break of day on his journey. His mother came along with him to the yard gate, and says she, "Jack, which would you rather have? Half the cake and half the hen with my blessing, or the whole of 'em with my curse?" "Oh, musha, mother," says Jack, "why do you ask me that question? Sure you know I wouldn't have your curse and Dahmer's estate along with it." Well then, Jack," says she, "here's the whole lot of 'em, with my 1,000 blessings along with them." So she stood on the yard fence and blessed him as far as her eyes could see him. Well, he went along and along till he was tired, and ne'er a farmer's house he went into wanted a boy. At last his road led by the side of a bog, and there was a poor ass up to his shoulders near a big bunch of grass he was striving to come at. Are we taking bets to see if there's a fish in this one? I think that there's gonna be a fish. I don't know why, but it's just a hint. But why did I stop? I stopped because I stumbled on... Oh, okay. I got confused because I didn't realize that the donkey was talking. Jack is wandering around in the countryside. He sees a donkey up to his shoulders near some grass. "Ah, then, Jack is Thor," says he. "Help me out or I'll be drowned." "Never say it twice," says Jack, and he pitched in big stones and sods into the slob till the ass got good ground under him. "Thank you, Jack," says he, when he was out on the hard road. "I'll do as much for you another time. Where are you going?" "Faith, I'm going to seek my fortune till harvest comes in, God bless it." "And if you like," says the ass, "I'll go along with you. Who knows what luck we may have?" "With all my heart. It's getting late. Let us be jogging." Well, they were going through a village, and a whole army of gossoons were hunting a poor dog with a kettle tied to his tail. He ran up to Jack for protection, and the ass let such a roar out of him that the little thieves took to their heels, as if the old boy was after them. "More power to you, Jack," says the dog. "I'm much obliged to you. Where is the baste and yourself going?" "Oh, beast. Maybe it's supposed to be beast, and it's written phonetically to give it the accent or the dialect. We're going to seek our fortune till harvest comes in." "And wouldn't I be proud to go with you," says the dog, "and get rid of them ill-conducted boys, pursuin' to 'em." Well, throw your tail over your arm and come along." They got outside the town and sat down under an old wall, and Jack pulled out his bread and meat and shared with the dog, and the ass made his dinner on a bunch of thistles. While they were eating and chatting, what should come by but a poor half-starved cat, and the mull row he gave out of him would make your heart ache. Oh, it's dog accent, yes. Because obliged is spelled wrong. It's like obliged is spelled obliged. So it's like whatever the accent the dog is supposed to be. While they were eating and chatting, what should come by but a poor half-starved cat, and the "meow" he gave out of him would make your heart ache. "You look as if you saw the tops of 9 houses since breakfast," says Jack. "Here's a bone and something on it." "May your child never know a hungry belly," says Tom. "It's myself that's in need of your kindness. May I be so bold as to ask where yez all are going?" "We're going to seek our fortune till the harvest comes in, and you may join us if you like." "And that I'll do with a heart and a half," says the cat, "and thank you for asking me." Off they set again, and just as the shadows of the trees were 3 times as long as themselves, they heard a great cackling in a field inside the road, and out over the ditch jumped a fox with a fine black cock in his mouth. "Oh, you anointed villain," says the ass, roaring like thunder. "At him, good dog," says Jack, and the word wasn't out of his mouth when Coley was in full sweep after the red dog. Reynard dropped his prize like a hot potato, and was off like shot, and the poor cock came back fluttering and trembling to Jack and his comrades. "Oh, musha, neighbours," says he, "wasn't it the height of luck that threw you in my way? Maybe I won't remember your kindness if ever I find you in hardship. And where in the world are you all going?" "We're going to seek our fortune till the harvest comes in. You may join our party if you like, and sit on Nettie's crupper when your legs and wings are tired." Well, the march began again, and just as the sun was gone down, they looked around, and there was neither cabin nor farmhouse in sight. "Well, well," says Jack, "the worse luck now the better another time, and it's only a summer night after all. We'll go into the wood and make our bed on the long grass." No sooner said than done. Jack stretched himself on a bunch of dry grass, the ass lay near him, and dog and cat lay in the ass's warm lap, and the cock went to roost in the next tree. Well, the soundness of deep sleep was over them all, when the cock took a notion of crowing. "Bother you, black cock," says the ass. "You disturbed me from as nice a wisp of hay as ever I tasted. What's the matter?" "It's daybreak, that's the matter. Don't you see the light yonder?" "I see a light indeed," says Jack, "but it's from a candle it's coming, and not from the sun. As you've roused us, we may as well go over and ask for lodging." So they all shook themselves and went on through grass and rocks and briars till they got down into a hollow, and there was the light coming through the shadow, and along with it came singing and laughing and cursing. "Easy, boys," says Jack. "Walk on your tippy toes till we see what sort of people we have to deal with." So they crept near the window, and there they saw 6 robbers inside, with pistols and blunderbushes and cutlasses, sitting at a table, eating roast beef and pork, and drinking mulled beer and wine and whiskey punch. "Wasn't that a fine haul we made at Lord Dunlavin's?" says one ugly-looking thief with his mouth full. "And it's little we'd get only for the honest porter. Here's his purty health." "The porter's purty health," cried out every one of them, and Jack bent his finger at his comrades. "Close your ranks, my men," says he in a whisper, "and let every one mind the word of command." So the ass put his forehoof on the sill of the window, the dog got on the ass's head, the cat on the dog's head, and the cock on the cat's head. Then Jack made a sign, and they all sung out like mad. "Hee-haw! Hee-haw!" roared the ass. "Bow-wow!" barked the dog. "Meow! Meow!" cried the cat. "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" crowed the cock. "Level your pistols," cried Jack, "and make smithereens of 'em. Don't leave a mother's son of 'em alive. Present! Fire!" With that they gave another halloo, and smashed every pane in the window. The robbers were frightened out of their lives. They blew out the candles, threw down the table, and skelped out at the back door as if they were in earnest, and never drew rein till they were in the very heart of the wood. Jack and his party got into the room, closed the shutters, lighted the candles, and ate and drank till hunger and thirst were gone. Then they lay down to rest, Jack in the bed, the ass in the stable, the dog on the doormat, the cat by the fire, and the cock on the perch. At first the robbers were very glad to find themselves safe in the thick wood, but they soon began to get vexed. "This damp grass is very different from our warm room," says one. "I was obliged to drop a fine pig's foot," says another. "I didn't get a teaspoonful of my last tumbler," says another. "And all the Lord of Dunlavin's gold and silver that we left behind," says the last. "I think I'll venture back," says the captain, "and see if we can recover anything." "That's a good boy," they said, and away he went. The lights were all out, and so he groped his way to the fire, and there the cat flew in his face and tore him with teeth and claws. He let a roar out of him, and made for the room door to look for a candle inside. He trod on the dog's tail, and if he did, he got the marks of the teeth in his arms and legs and thighs. "Thousand murders!" cried he. "I wish I was out of this unlucky house." When he got to the street door, the cock dropped down upon him with his claws and bill, and what the cat and dog done to him was only a flay bite to what he got from the cock. "Oh, tattheration to you all, you unfeeling vagabonds," says he, when he recovered his breath. And he staggered and spun round and round till he reeled into the stable, back foremost, but the ass received him with a kick on the broadest part of the small clothes, and laid him comfortably on the dunghill. When he came to himself, he scratched his head and began to think what happened to him, and as soon as he found that his legs were able to carry him, he crawled away, dragging one foot after another, till he reached the wood. "Well, well," cried them all, and when he came within hearing, "Any chance of our property?" "You may say chance," says he, "and it's itself is the poor chance all out. Will any of you pull a bed of dry grass for me? All the sticking plaster and Enniscorthy will be too little for the cuts and bruises I have on me. If you only knew what I have gone through for you. When I got to the kitchen fire, looking for a sod of lighted turf, what should be there but an old woman carding flax, and you may see the marks she left on my face with the cards. I made to the room door as fast as I could, and who should I stumble over but a cobbler in his seat, and if he did not work at me with his awls and his pincers, you may call me a rogue. Well, I got away from him somehow, but when I was passing through the door, it must be the divil himself that pounced down on me with his claws, and his teeth that were equal to sixpenny nails, and his wings, ill luck being his road. Well, at last I reached the stable, and there, by way of salute, I got a pelt from a sledgehammer that sent me half a mile off. And if you don't believe me, I'll give you leave to go and judge for yourselves." Dog accent, cat accent, chicken accent. This book has it all. I'm about to fall asleep. Have a good rest of your stream. Good night. Good night, Jen. Have a good sleep. Thank you for being here. "Oh, my poor captain," says they. "We believe you to the nines. Catch us indeed going within a hen's race of that unlucky cabin." Well, before the sun shook his doublet next morning, Jack and his comrades were up and about. They made a hearty breakfast on what was left the night before, and then they all agreed to set off to the castle of the Lord of Dunlavin, and give him back all his gold and silver. Jack put it all in the two ends of a sack and laid it across Nettie's back, and all took the road in their hands. Away they went, through bogs, up hills, down dales, and sometimes along the yellow high road, till they came to the hall door of the Lord of Dunlavin. And who should be there, airing his powdered head, his white stockings, and his red breeches, but the thief of a porter. He gave a cross look to the visitors, and says he to Jack, "What do you want here, my fine fellow? There isn't room for you all." "We want," says Jack, "what I'm sure you haven't to give us, and that is common civility." "Come, be off, you lazy strollers," says he, "while a cat'd be licking her ear, or I'll let the dogs at you." "Would you tell a body," says the cock that was perched on the ass's head, "who was it that opened the door for the robbers the other night?" Maybe the porter's red face didn't turn the color of his frill, and the Lord of Dunlavin and his pretty daughter that were standing at the parlor window, unknownst to the porter, put out their heads. "I'd be glad, Barney," says the master, "to hear your answer to the gentleman with the red comb on him." My lord, don't believe the rascal. Sure I didn't open the door to the 6 robbers." "And how did you know there were 6, you poor innocent?" said the lord. "Never mind, sir," says Jack. "All your gold and silver is there in that sack, and I don't think you will begrudge us our supper and bed after our long march from the wood of Athsalach." "Begrudge, indeed! Not one of you will ever see a poor day if I can help it." So all were welcomed to their heart's content, and the ass and the dog and the cock got the best posts in the farmyard, and the cat took possession of the kitchen. The lord took Jack in his hands, dressed him from top to toe in broadcloth, and frills as white as snow, and turnpumps, and put a watch in his fob. When they sat down to dinner, the lady of the house said Jack had the air of a born gentleman about him, and the lord said he'd make him his steward. Jack brought his mother, and settled her comfortably near the castle, and all were as happy as you please. See, that one has a happy ending, except for the porter. I bet the porter got it in big trouble. But yeah, like some of them are dark and some of them are just like, like, and it was fun. It was like, because each animal had its own little accent that was like written distinctly differently. I like when an author can kind of like project how you're supposed to feel or how you're supposed to hear it or how you're supposed to see it in your head. Just by like a word or two. Like with the cat, the Malraux, like it just, when I read it just outright at first, And then I was like, oh, that's very clearly supposed to be a meow, and it's supposed to sound exactly like this. A much later story than the last ones. Yeah. Let's see if the author has anything to say about it in the references. Oh, he says it's basically just a story from Grimm. Town Musicians of Bremen, number 27. So apparently there's a version of Grimm that is pretty and happy. I've heard a version of that before, but I'm sure there was a goat as well. Goat would have been also a very distinct voice, I am sure. But yeah, I like it. That one was light and just leaves you with a good happy-go-lucky sort of ending, which is nice. I remember the animals stacking on top of each other. That reminds me, yeah, so there's actually a picture of the animals. Come on, focus. Focus. It's not focusing. Anyway, but yes, they're all like climbing on top of each other. And making their most menacing looking faces. No fish. Oh yeah, you're right. There was. Oh, did they eat fish? I don't think they even ate fish. There was a pig's foot or something that someone was eating. But yeah, no fish. I thought for sure there was going to be fish in that one. Hi there. Thanks for joining our book club. If you'd like to join the conversation, I would love it if you would leave us a comment. And if you'd like to see more, check out the playlist.